In this video, I'm going to show you how to identify cells with partial text. So where your search matches part of the cell that you're searching through. And I'll give you an example here. Let's say you needed to find cells with the word item in it, as cell B2 does. So if you did a simple if formula and search cell B2 here, which clearly contains the word item, it's going to give you a false result because that isn't the exact contents of the cell. And what I mean by that is the cell also contains a space and the word code in it. So we need to find a way where a cell contains a specific string of text that we want, even if it doesn't form the entire cell contents. And before we get going, please remember to hit subscribe below for more Excel tips like this. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do this in 3 steps, or 4 steps if you include me showing you how to make the results stand out more. And if you're anything like me, I need to know why something works to remember how to use it in the future. And that's what I hope to achieve in this video. So we're going to combine 3 different functions here. And I'm going to start from the inside of the formula and then work my way out. And the first step is the search function. When I use search, I'm basically looking for the location within a cell that a string of text occurs. In this case, I'll be searching the cells in column B for any instance of the letters TA, and it will give me one of 2 responses. It will either give me a number if the cell contains TA, and that number will relate to where in the cell that number begins. So in cell B3, for example, TA is at the very beginning of the string, so the response will be 1. In cell B23, on the other hand, the TA is at the very end of the string, so the result will be 5, because T is the 5th character in. So it will give me a number if the cell contains TA, the search term, or the second option, it will give me an error if the cell doesn't contain TA. And don't worry if you get that error, because that's kind of what we want to help us to identify which ones suit our search and which ones don't. So let's give it a go. Okay, so I'm going to type in search, and I need to find the letters TA within cell B3, and TA needs to be in quotation marks. Now, if I just press enter on that search, it gives me a result of 1. And that is because TA is at the very beginning of that string of text. Likewise, if I apply that code, that formula down here to cell C23 and relate that to B23, it's going to give me a result of 5. Because in this case, TA is at the very end of the string. And you can see T is 5 characters in. Now what happens if I try to apply this to cell C5, which relates to B5? You can see that in B5, there is no instance of the letters TA in that cell. So rather than a number, that's given me an error. Now, as I said, that's exactly what we want, because we want to identify ones that don't have TA in it. Okay, so I'll just delete that. And now that's exactly what we were looking for with this first part of the formula. So now we're going to move on to step 2. And as I said, we're working from the inside of the formula out. So just to recap, basically what we've found with this first part, with search, is either a number or error. And that sets us up for step number 2. Step number 2 is to apply the isnumber function. We write isnumber at the start, and the syntax being isnumber with value, the value obviously being what is now in there, which is search for the text TA within B3. That is the value. Either that value is a number, in which case this formula would be true, or it's an error, in which case it's false. So obviously with TA there in cell B3, that's going to be true. With no instance of TA in cell B5, then that's going to be false. Okay, so that's great. That's obviously again what we want. And now we've got a situation where we've got either a true or a false statement. And that sets us up for step number 3, which is to apply the if function to this formula. Now, what you can see here is if, and we've got either true or false. And what is the value that we want if it is true? Then we're going to make that yes. And if that value is false, we're going to make that no. And the yes and the no need to be in quotation marks there as well. So if we press enter, now because TA is in that cell, then we're going to get a yes result. And if I just apply that formula all the way down, then we're either going to get yeses or nos. Again, that just depends on whether the cell in B in column B contains the letters TA. And again, just to summarize, we've got search here. That gives us a number or an error. If it is a number, then this part is going to be true. If it is not a number, then that part is going to be false. And that's where the if statement comes into it. If the result is true, then we're going to get a yes. And if the result is false, then we're going to get a no. Okay, now I said step number 4, it's a 3-step process, but step number 4, I said I would show you just to make it more presentable and make these results stand out a little bit more. So I'll center these in that column. And what I'm then going to do is go into conditional formatting, and you can get to that in the home tab. Go to highlight cell rules and then select text that contains. Now here, what I want to do is change this to green fill with dark green text. And that is going to be the result if we get a yes result. So then I just press enter or OK. And I can go back in, go back to highlight cell rules and text that contains. And this time I want a no result to show with light red fill with dark red text. And then click OK. And that's all there is to it. I really hope this video was helpful and hopefully telling you how or showing you how or why it works helps you to apply it in the future. Please subscribe to the channel for more videos just like this.